Say what you will about him, but there's no denying that the villains often get the best lines.
How are things in the underworld?
Well, they're just fine. You know, a little dark, a little gloomy, and as always, hey, full of dead people. What are you gonna do?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Disney villain lines. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at the greatest lines spoken by villains in Disney movies. We'll be including quotes that are both menacing and funny, and they can be spoken by any villain in the movie, i.e. not just the primary antagonist. Number 10. We dance, we kiss, we schmooze, Hercules.
See, I've got this major deal in the works, a real estate venture, if you will.
Despite Hercules not being one of Disney's blockbusters, Hades is probably one of the greatest villains in the entire canon. And a large reason for that is his voice actor, the endlessly energetic James Woods. He imbues the mythical villain with a terrific sense of humor, which is probably not something you expected from the fire-haired ruler of the underworld. He speaks to others with a nonchalant and pithy attitude, leading to this fantastic quote, which he says to Hercules while tricking him into making a deal. A deal with the devil, you could say. But if the devil is this much fun, we wouldn't mind making a deal with him.
We dance, we kiss, we schmooze, we carry on, we go home happy. What do you say? Come on.
Number 9. I'll get you for this, Pan, if it's the last thing I do. Peter Pan. This quote is a little cheesy and old-fashioned, but then again, Peter Pan is a little cheesy and old-fashioned in the best ways possible. In this scene, Captain Hook is dangling above a crocodile-infested body of water, while Pan taunts him from above. This leads to Hook spouting the cliche, "I'll get you for this" line, only the meaning is diminished due to Hook crying and blubbering like a child.
I'll get you for this, Pan, if it's the last thing I do.
You know, Hook, making threats while crying kind of diminishes their impact and makes you look like a playground bully. It's nice to see Hook knock down a peg, and the following battle with the crocodile is just endlessly enjoyable.
Don't go away, Captain. Stay right there now, sir. I'll save you, sir.
Number 8. Perhaps you'd like to see how snake-like I can be. Aladdin. After Aladdin challenges Jafar to a fight and calls him a cowardly snake, Jafar responds in turn by doing a creepy snake impression before turning into a giant cobra.
Perhaps you'd like to see how snake-like I can be.
Jafar's scary enough, but seeing him transform into a massive snake is pure nightmare fuel. This is exactly what makes Jafar such a fascinating villain. He has little to no redeeming qualities, he's a menacing and unforgiving force, and he can turn into a horrifying gigantic snake on a whim. Nothing says "I'll give you a fight" quite like doing that right in front of your opponent's eyes.
Little fool. You thought you could defeat the most powerful being on Earth.
Number 7. And don't underestimate the importance of body language. The Little Mermaid.
Have we got a deal?
If there's one image we can't get out of our minds from The Little Mermaid, it's Ursula shaking her octopus butt. During Poor Unfortunate Souls, Ursula gives Ariel a brief glimpse into human men by telling her that conversation is not welcomed, and that physical attraction is all that matters.
What I want from you is your voice.
Naturally, this leads to Ursula telling Ariel to look sexy while gyrating her hips and laughing. Yes, it's funny and odd, but it's also kinda true, which makes Ursula more complex than she may seem. Body language is important, especially in non-sexual situations. Ursula may be speaking with a purely sexual connotation, but her words hold a deeper and more powerful meaning.
And don't underestimate the importance of body language.
Number 6. I live for furs. I worship furs. 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, darling, I live for furs. I worship furs.
Cruella de Vil is one of Disney's most immoral villains, as exemplified through this fabulously wicked line, which essentially condones the murder of innocent animals in the name of fashion. And not just normal everyday fashion, extravagant fashion. Like 10 feet thick fur coats that reach down to her ankles. Come on, isn't that just a little excessive? Killing animals purely for high fashion is a questionable practice at best, and Cruella's words ring even harsher in 21st century life, where veganism and animal rights organizations are stronger and more widespread than they've ever been.
After all, is there a woman in all this wretched world who doesn't?
Number 5. It's not right for a woman to read Beauty and the Beast.
How can you read this? There's no pictures.
Is there a more buffoonish Disney character than Gaston? As Belle herself puts it, he's positively primeval. We get our first good glimpse of Gaston during the opening number, when he comes across Belle and throws her book into a muddy puddle. He does this because he can't fathom the idea of a woman reading, having ideas, and thinking, because Gaston is an idiot. A sexy idiot, we suppose, judging by everyone's reactions, but an idiot nevertheless. This quote is a perfect way to sum up and set up his character in just a few words. With this ignorant little speech, we know all there is to know about this bone-headed dolt.
It's not right for a woman to read. Soon she starts getting ideas and thinking.
Gaston, you are positively primeval.
Why, thank you, Belle.
Number 4. Off with their heads. Alice in Wonderland.
Off with their heads!
This line is oddly violent for a children's movie, isn't it? Ah, different times. The Queen of Hearts is one of the most famous villains in children's literature, having come from Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. She is a controlling monarch known primarily for quick temper. This temper leads her to suppressing opponents without thought or care, often passing the death sentence with her signature line, "Off with their heads."
Off with his head!
Off with his head, off with his head, by order of the king. You heard what she said.
It's a quote that has remained impactful for over a century, and still serves as one of Disney's most iconic villain lines, even if it's not a Disney original.
Off with her head!
Number 3. The Mistress of All Evil, Sleeping Beauty.
You poor simple fools. Thinking you could defeat me, the mistress of all evil.
It's a bold claim to call yourself the mistress of all evil. That said, Maleficent more than deserves the title. In her very first scene, she curses a baby with death, and it doesn't get much better from there. She resides in a place called the Forbidden Mountain, turns into the prophesied spinning wheel to directly murder Princess Aurora, and kidnaps Prince Philip so he cannot awaken her. She's one of Disney's most detestable and evil characters, and she knows it. She has also remained one of Disney's most popular villains for half a century, giving weight to the idea that she is truly the mistress of all evil.
Well, well.
Number 2. Long Live the King, the Lion King.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Scar may be surrounded by idiots, but he certainly knows how to usurp a king. Throughout the first third of The Lion King, Scar plots to eliminate both Mufasa and Simba so he can claim the throne. Some viewers may have thought this to be an impossibility, and this feeling would have been reinforced when Mufasa triumphantly struggles out of the stampede. However, Scar digs his claws into Mufasa, unnervingly says the now iconic line, and throws him back in, leading to the scene that has traumatized viewers for over 20 years. It's an eerie moment that reinforces the danger and sinister nature of Scar, and it's helped him become one of Disney's classic villains.
Long live the king.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
And he shall smite the wicked and plunge them into the fiery pit.
Come on, boys. Won't you shake a poor sinner's hand?
Oh, Anna. If only there was someone out there who loved you.
The world is dark and selfish and cruel.
A llama? He's supposed to be dead!
Number 1. Magic Mirror on the Wall. Who is the fairest one of all? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all?
Is there a more iconic line in Disney history? This line has become synonymous with Disney, and is so entrenched in popular culture and Western society that everyone has heard it, even those who haven't seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In fact, it's so popular that it's become a famous example of the Mandela effect, a series of widely held false memories. Many people believe the quote to be mirror, mirror on the wall, not magic mirror on the wall, as it actually is. Despite the falsely held beliefs, this quote is one of the most famous in movie history.
lips red as the rose, hair black as ebony, skin white as snow.
Snow White.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.